Hey guys, Jules here from Jules Gardening, Small Space Gardening. And today I'm going to teach you about using concrete blocks in your garden. By the way, when I had my landscaping company years ago, I contracted with a friend of mine that had a concrete company, as in pouring mud. Okay, footers for big houses, sidewalks, driveways, garages, you name it. I also had another friend whose father owned a concrete company, as in they made the concrete to be poured as the mud for my friend's business where we laid footers, etc. I know what I'm talking about. So first, let's talk about concrete blocks. So a standard block's going to run you 16 inches wide and then 8 by 8. It's going to be 8 deep. There's two different types of blocks. These are corner blocks. Okay, they're squared up. These are actually called stretchers. Okay, there's several different types of blocks. I'm just using corners and stretchers on this project because I'm not building a true wall. Okay. A couple stretchers through a corner block there. Some more stretchers. And then finish the line with two corners. This space here just allows me to walk into the back of the garden. All right, now this is one layer, which means you don't really need a footer. Okay, it's not going to be load bearing, and when it shifts, you can come back in and re-level it, replumb it. Okay, so basically, you take your shovel all underneath these blocks, shoveled it and leveled it out. It's not plumb. I didn't waste time doing that because I'm not building a freaking house. Okay, but it's straight enough. Now here's the thing. A lot of people will put two of these. Once you do that, if you put a second layer on, you really ought to do some mortar, especially if you're using a lot of block. But here's the rule on that. If you're going to mortar two blocks together, you need to pour a footer so it'll be stable. Okay, because when the ground shifts, it's going to cause you a headache when you're trying to re-level two blocks mortared together. So if you go for two, go ahead and put a footer down. It doesn't need to be a lot, doesn't need to be deep. Even 2 inches would do, because again, it's not going to be load bearing, but you want to lock it all down and plumb it, make it level. Again, this is not plumbed. It's just straight on the ground, took a shovel, leveled out the dirt as best I could, used my leveler to make the tops pretty close, and that was that. Well, one more thing, and it's important. Concrete blocks will leach. They can leach, I should say, lime. And so you should do it anyway, but you got to keep track of your pH. Always test your pH anyway. So keep an eye on your pH if you're using concrete blocks. That's for sure. If you're not using but one layer, you don't really need footers. If you use two layers, you need mortar, which means you then should use footers. All right, now these things are 8 inches deep, which if you're doing the small space thing, that's probably good enough for most uses. This bed here goes another 4 to 8 inches deep. I've been working it for a while. It's full of clay. Okay, but I added these blocks not just for aesthetics, but eventually I'm going to start filling it up. So then I can get up to 12 inches deep. Semi raised bed, I guess you'd say. I'm not really into raised bed stuff. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But that will give me 12 inches or more, depending on where I'm at in this garden, of depth and really good soil. So now you're talking some really good tubers, potatoes, carrots, giving it room to get down in there. And your above ground product loves some deep soil too. And if you see these poles out here, that's 8 foot. Okay, that's 8 foot from where we're standing. All right, this one right here is 4 foot away. So 4x8, if you're into square foot garden raised bed, 4x8 would do you and should do you, because you need to be able to lean in there to grab your crop. Okay, so you don't really want to get it too wide, or then you defeat the purpose of small space. This is a combo sort of square foot and row, but I leave space so I can walk in. But if you're truly doing square foot raised bed, you need to be able to walk around the thing, so you're saving space on your plants and it's easy to get to. Okay, if that's what you want to do. I might very well run another row of blocks here and cross it up there and make a separate height bed. But if I leave this in play over here, then I can't really get to most of it. So, you know, you got to figure out how you can get to your crop and harvest it without damaging another crop. And then one little caveat, I call them cinder blocks myself, always have. But cinder blocks, true cinder blocks, have not been made in about 50 years. Cinder blocks actually have coal ash in them. So today we just use pure concrete blocks. Well, okay, guys, I hope that helped you if you're looking for help. If not, you know, you already know what you're talking about. What are you watching me for? You guys have a blessed weekend. Love the birds. Peace, y'all.